Bills fans, what is up? How are you doing? I'm live. I'm ready to roll. I don't know how long I've been live, but I'm live. Fuck. What a what a game. It was a pain in the ass as usual. No rest for the weary. And it's just so frustrating that it's just like we know you can win. You're gonna win this game. Just pull away. Just pull away. All you have to do, it's open grass. Pull away. And what kept them from doing that? Third and short, third and short, third and short. How many different times were those plays blown up? And all I'm thinking about, why don't you just like they went for it, I believe, on a 4th and 2 or a 3rd and 2 with an Allen sneak really quick, and they got it on a second surge. But then they just didn't do it. They just kept running Gore. I was like, change it up, spread them out, hit them with Singletary. The last touchdown Singletary scored on was a beautiful play where they hit the edge and he just made a man miss in space because he can. He's that good. And they got him the ball in space today. I watched the Broncos play Cleveland because I'm going to see what they're doing against Cleveland because that's the Bills' next opponent. They spread them out on 3rd and 1 and hit a quick slant because they were just didn't know what to do because they thought they were going to be all bunched in, and defense was confused and they got a cheap first down out of it. And Allen's big, he's mobile, and he can exploit defenses when you spread them out. They need to start spreading teams out more and going downfield with the ball a little bit more. They tried that today. I don't know if you guys are of the same opinion. The one Foster dove on, I felt like if he would have kept running, he would have ran right under it, because I don't know if he lost the ball, but he just flew past his man because the one man turned around and slowed up. The ball was going past him. If he would have kept running, it would have been ran. It would have gone. Yeah, I'm watching a little bit, but I want to pay attention to you guys right now. I'm sorry I'm on so late, but it's exciting. The Bills are 6-1. People are gonna bitch about style points again. I was getting antsy too. Allen came out and threw for like 100 yards in the first quarter. I thought he was gonna tear him a new one, and it just kind of got bogged down. I felt like, come on, man, this game is here. It's open. And to be fair, let's be fair. The defense only did give up 6 points. The defense gave up 6 points. That one last field goal, the last time that the Redskins scored was on Bojorquez. If Bojorquez doesn't shank that kick, what was it, like a 15-yard kick? They ain't gonna score. Bills pressured Haskins pretty well. He was very conservative with the football, very conservative. There were very few throws to the middle of the field where balls could get tipped or receivers could drive on it. There were a lot of quick outs, a lot of things that were just boom, quick. When he wasn't getting sacked or had to throw the ball away via scramble. I mean, Peterson ripped off those 3 runs. Outside of that, there was really no big plays. The one where he got caught in the muck and he broke out for the 28-yarder. Outside of that, they really held it down. In the second half, they really held them down. Why? Simple. Guys won their one-on-ones, got off blocks, and if the first man didn't get Peterson down, he held him up for the help to arrive to clean up the mess. So it's always gonna be that way. What's up, Damager? How you doing, Eric? Shady, Rick, Dank Happenings. Yeah, Allen is a headache to game plan for, and they have. I mean, I love when he breaks out of a sack and he keeps his eyes downfield, and the one play that Brown had that play, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna get knocked out of field goal range here and have to defend a long field and then possibly a 2-point conversion to win this game against this team. And then Allen breaks out, hits Brown on a rope for that first down, and that was but at least in this game they got it cleaned up. And to be fair, yo Los, what's up? I was watching because the national game on Fox, on my TV at least, was Eagles and Bears. Bears have a very good defense. I wanted to see what the Bears' issues were against Philly's defense. And to be honest with you, they got killed on screens. Philly didn't hit them with the run as bad because the game was closer, but they killed them with the screen game bad. What's up, Trevor? How you doing, man? I, I don't want to say it was conservative. I felt like the Bills just didn't execute, man. They had chances to stay on the field with third and shorts. I felt like the one time where Dawson caught the ball and they went for it on fourth down, which I fully agree with, they didn't get it. I felt like if he would have leaned back a little bit and just drove his legs back, he was gonna get the first down. That DB is 50, 60 pounds lighter than you. Just muscle him for a yard. That was frustrating. Man, it's a week-to-week league, Ronald. I don't want to talk about that game yet. And it's a week-to-week league. That's the same team that got destroyed against Cleveland, and Cleveland looks like they can't get out of their own way right now. So this is a week-to-week league as evidence, man. The Patriots look like trash right now. So what I've learned today, look at Green Bay. Green Bay goes out to a soccer stadium with Aaron Rodgers in a 7-1 team, and they can't get out of their own way. And Mark Ingram is running for fun, and he's down inside the 5. No, 20. But that's the game, man. That's the league. This league doesn't, it's non-transferable. What's up, Hussein? How you doing, bro? I'm always going to take the W. I'm not satisfied. They're not satisfied. That's fine. But I'm satisfied with 6-2. If I would have told any of you before the season the Bills would be 6-2 with 8 games in, and their only 2 L's would have been against the Eagles and the Patriots, you would have been like, I'll take it. And I don't want to concede L's or games, but that's the truth, and that's where they're at. And we have to be happy with that, especially coming off last week where they were completely crap. New England is getting blown off the doors right now, and I don't mind that. I have 3 favorite teams. 3. The Bills, always, and whoever beats the Patriots and the Cowboys. Those are my 3 favorite teams. Yeah, Trevor, the first drive was fantastic. Even the second drive was excellent. They got down inside the red zone, and they shot themselves in the foot. It was 1st and goal at the 2. It was just frustrating. It's just these little self-inflicted things, not being able to execute on 3rd and short. Even the other touchdown where Allen, they had to go for it on 4th down to get it. And, you got to also give a little credit to the opponent. They have how many? I think they have some pretty good players in the middle of that D line. Jonathan Allen, Ioannidis is a very good player. He's my favorite player out of the bunch. Payne. So they got some ballers up there. But the Bills were able to make hay with Singletary. John Brown was excellent today. Sans that one drop, he totally redeemed himself on the next play when he drove hard, closed space on Norman. Norman took him up, carried upfield his coverage a little bit too far, and Allen hit him on a rope. That was a hell of a pass. Yeah, that was yeah, they just got no movement on the line. Trevor, 3 straight runs, but to Gore, yeah, they just got no movement, and you have to get movement, and that's on the line. That's on the line too. They were getting pushed back. They were getting knocked back. Gore had no lanes to run in. He's not near as shifty as Singletary is, so he didn't have the space in which to work. Singletary doesn't need that. He doesn't need to. They run different kind of runs anyway. So again, it was ugly to start, and to just in the middle of the game was pretty ugly, but they opened up and then they finished, and that's all I can say. Yeah, the run defense had a little bit of a headache. They had their hiccup. They cleaned it up though. They made the adjustment. They got it corrected, and that's what I can give them credit for. Now, if it continued to happen, I'd have been pissed. They got hit on one screen. I can't be too mad about that. Jordan Clark, what's up, bro? Singletary, better average. Yeah, man, he's a good player. I'm glad they got Foster back in, even though he didn't get a chance to touch the ball. I feel like he should be the X, and they should just have him on the field a lot. Isaiah McKenzie, they was running just too much jet sweep action with him. I know he hit them on one long one, about a 15, 20-yarder, I'd say, but he didn't really get nothing. Beasley had the touchdown. Again, in those short situations, spread them out. Make them have to defend space. Don't get all boxed in so much. That's irritating. What's up, Damager? We're a young team. Games only get close because we allow it. Yeah, just got to get our shit together, man. This team just has to do its own thing. I'll look at this. I'll just we all know Singletary needed his burn, man, and he finally got it. He finally got it. Just got to make sure he doesn't aggravate that hamstring. And trust me, everybody's kind of down on Gore right now. Gore is a very good player, and he can still add some value to this team. So don't bury him just yet, because he had a rough day out there, and I'm sure he'll still do his thing when he gets his opportunities. What's up, Bonzolo? Yeah, man. I was watching, and I'll just say this: everybody's down on the Bills. This team was picked to win six and a half games all year by the pundits, by the national media. Some of the national media thought they would 3. The Jets were supposed to be the second team in the East. The Jets, the woe-begone Jets, who went down to Miami with their rookie quarterback and their offensive guru head coach and lost pretty easily to the Dolphins. The Dolphins played inspired. Yes, he is. He's still a beast. The Dolphins played inspired football, and that's why when they were playing the Bills, they've played good football ever since they named Fitz the starter. That they've really played hard. Years prior, remember going enjoying moral victories and being shamed for it, and with it doesn't matter. Yeah, you are what your record says. Now it shut up about the record. Bonzolo, Jesus, what? Sam Darnold is overrated, Travis Dale says. Also, yeah, the receivers, they were just kind of caught in, I just feel like Foster needs to get more burn. I think Foster needs to be the X, and if you can get him the ball 2 to 3 times a game, I think that'll be well worth the squeeze. I love idea of Duke Williams, the story and stuff, but the guy just cannot get the separation consistently to provide what this team needs. This team needs space players and players that can open the field up and unlock the middle of the field, make it easier for Beasley, Knox, and Singletary to work underneath and have lanes to run through. Also, the national pundits, all the fanfare. I remember I went into a chat room at the behest of a friend on Facebook, and I didn't really want to, but I did. And it was so-called fans. I think they were Bills fans, but I wasn't sure. But they were all about the Browns. I was flamed for not buying into the hype. They go out to Denver with their first overall pick quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who's supposed to light the world on fire, with OBJ, with Landry, with Nick Chubb, and they lose. Okay, they're 2-6. They play the Bills next week at home. There's calls for their head coach to be fired. Jermaine Whitehead, who's their starting safety right now for Demarius Randall, threatened former Bill, current 92.3, the fan, Cleveland radio host. He threatened to beat the shit out of him, Dustin Fox, for critiquing his lack of tackling today on the air, and he had his account suspended. I retweeted it. Yeah, Matthew, I retweeted that. It's a mess, and I just want Bills fans to appreciate the sanity and the stable environment, the structure that this regime, this brass has brought to One Bills Drive. Appreciate it. Okay, because it should not be taken lightly or for granted. Look around the league. Look around the league. Look to your right, look to your left, because it's not commonplace And when you're a fan, as we've been a fan of some of those dysfunctional situations for a long time, they're horrible. Horrible. But when everybody believes the buzz and the hype and you still get the burn, it's even worse. It's even worse. It's okay, Trevor. It's all right, bro. Vent, that's what we're from. That's what we're for. Yeah, Trevor, we actually have a stable organization for once with a clear-cut message, a direction, and the fruits of it, albeit not always the most savory, are still bearing fruit on the field. They're still winning. They're closing games out. They're not totally killing themselves with like, I mean, you don't have guys getting told they have to change their cleats at halftime. You don't have head coaches saying that, losses aren't embarrassing in the NFL. You don't have players getting told by the GM they're not going to be traded and then gone behind their back and told, you don't have players taking to Twitter, ripping the organization. You don't have players fighting with the media, a la Baker Mayfield, Tony Grossi in Cleveland. So I want this team. You know what I want the signature to be? That they're a good organization that's about winning. They're about football, and they're about creating the best environment for the players to be the best at. And that was the whole idea with that new performance thing, this whole thing that they do with integrating the locker room with different players. They don't want cliques in the locker room. They don't want any of that type of stuff. They want a team, not a group of individuals who happen to wear the same jerseys on Sunday. Because you know what I've learned all my years, playing football in high school and a little bit in school later on, that you can be a bunch of guys running around in the same jersey, but you win Monday through Friday. But in their case, you win Monday through Saturday. That's how you win. That's how you win. He doesn't insult anyone, Trabsdale. He doesn't throw his players under the bus. The whole review the tape default is, I'm not going to throw my players under the bus to the media. That's it. You don't make corrections in the media. You don't do that. You know what you do? You piss off your players when you do that. Okay? You don't do that. Let me read some comments here. Imagine Twitter and the national media record if Josh threw that pitch. Oh my God. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear a peep. I mean, you heard, oh, Sam. But if some of these plays that Darnold makes with the safety today, the horrible pick where he just kind of flopped, he got away with another one too. He did the same kind of play. They were at midfield, and the defensive lineman for the Dolphins didn't catch it. It hit the ground. Yeah, he almost lost another fumble. Lost one last week. You just gotta keep. He's just got to keep practicing it. He's just got to keep working on it. That's it. You got those big hands. You got to use them, man. If you're gonna run with the football, you got to tuck it away. And I'm sure, knowing how they are, they're gonna try to drill it down. They're gonna try to drill it down. Not a big penalized game. They didn't take a lot of penalties today. Only 2 accepted on the offense for 20 yards. That's good. The third down conversion rate, even with all those terrible third and short misses, was that actually, I think it was around 50%, which is crazy to think about. Matthew says Dable's play calling is starting to make me always make me nervous. It's about execution, man. It's not about the play calling. These players need to execute in third and short and stay on the field, stay on schedule, and hold up blocks, because you're not going to win if you don't hold up blocks. Because you can't block and you can't cover for more than 2.5, 3 seconds in the NFL. You got to be able to maintain blocks and give guys space in which to work. Give your quarterback time. Remember that pass that that Allen hit pretty decent for a first down to Brown early in the game. Singletary picked up a beautiful blitz pickup and gave Allen time, and it was a nice play. It was about a 20-yard play downfield. Yeah, Trevor, you'll say the O-line. The O-line has played much better. They have played much better. And yes, Eric Moreno, you got to be able to pick. Yes, you have to be able to pick up a yard. This offense needs to either not be in third and short or be able to win in third and short. They definitely need to do that because that's just unbelievable. Jordan Phillips played well today. Um, I was looking at some of his sacks. A lot of them are wins today. That was just a weird. I don't know what Dwayne Haskins was looking at when Jordan Phillips kind of just a good effort play from him. He broke off his man. Haskins was rolling to the right, and he just ran into Jordan Phillips. I was like, that was the wow sack. Um, but the team did pressure Haskins very well today. Jordan Poyer almost missed a sack. Um, Trey White had a huge sack. Jerry Hughes had a nice sack. Trent Murphy got a hustle sack when Haskins was scrambling. He almost had another sack, and that was nice to see. So the team did pressure the quarterback pretty well. Eric Moreno, Jackson won't throw the ball. Yeah, he's when he doesn't like what he sees on the first progression, he breaks out. He starts to in and out, in and out. Um, Yeah, Bonzolo. Phillips is a guy that needs to be looked at to get a second contract with the Bills. And I kind of think, looking at his Twitter, looking at his Instagram more specifically, that he's a guy that probably wants to stay in Buffalo. He feels that the organization gave him a new lease on life, and I think that he would be very receptive to be in Buffalo. Bills activated Vincent Taylor today. He played an okay. He didn't play a lot of snaps, but the snaps he played, he was good in. I want to stress that the run defense was excellent in the second half. It was excellent. I think they had one run that was positive, a couple of them that were one over 5 yards, I believe, in the second half, or two, 1 and 8, 1 and 6, and that was it. There was much more tackles for losses and just kind of like stuff that the line type of runs in the second half. Um, I don't want to say Harrison Phillips is the one reason. I think it was just the whole collective thing with the run defense. It was all 7 men up front, not either winning their one-on-ones on the line or the linebackers. The one long one was just you didn't see the guy who was down. Peterson got lost in the muck and just broke out and just ran down the field. All the linebackers were sucked in and they didn't see where the ball was. And that happens, but you can't have that happen. You just can't have that happen. Trisdale, the times Allen got pressured was because of communication at the line, people coming through unblocked. Travsdale, I will tell you this. There are times in the NFL, I've learned this, that they know that there's going to be a free runner. They know it. But that also leaves one man less back in coverage. So it's almost like it's a give and take. I know this guy is blitzing me. I know there's not enough people in to block him, but we want to try to exploit it somewhere downfield. Hussein says Phillips is going to be next year like a college coach saying, bring me my money. Jordan Clark, Phillips, and Ed should be the starting tackles, in my opinion. Star's responsibility is just eating up blocks. He's actually played a little better than given credit for. So again, it's never going to be a sexy position. I don't see that it's freezing Ronald. Nobody else is saying anything, so let me know if it's freezing, guys. The stream, is it good? I hope so. But yeah, today's game, it was frustrating. I don't know if you guys were the same opinion. It sounds like you were. This game should have been, I don't think he's been struggling. He's up against good receivers, man. And they're not throwing at Trey White. They just aren't. They're just not throwing at him. Terry McLaurin's a good receiver, and he's going to get his. But overall, he didn't get destroyed. So, I mean, some of these guys are going to make plays on the Bills, and you just got to be able to recover. And they gave up, to be real, the defense had to defend a short field, only gave up a field goal. They only gave up 3 field goals today. Oh, And finally, I was totally going to forget Andre Roberts. Aces. Aces. Do you know why? Because he saw that the Redskins were lollygagging downfield. They were not ready to cover the return. They thought he was going to kneel it down and just take it at the 25. Nope, he broke out and just, they were like, oh shit, that's why their lanes were so open. And when they had to restart again, he was running for fun. Excellent. Finally, I've been waiting for some type of play like that on a return in special teams. It was very much welcome. And I think a lot of times they should do that more often, because these coverage units are so used to guys just taking knees and taking it at the 25 and playing it safe. But Andre Roberts, Pro Bowl returner, this is why you have the guy. This is why you signed him, to give you a short field, and he did that. I don't think the Bills exploited it too well, though. I only think they came away with 3, which thoroughly irritated me. I'm sorry about the stream, Ronald. Trabsdale, they're not going to Trey because he's a good player. You got a first-round pick versus a guy who's an undrafted free agent. And let's be honest, he's still a solid player. And let's see what the rest of the season holds. Believe it or not, guys, I mean, it's hard to say this. Matthew Pollowick, man, the Patriots are eating the Ravens up since the muff punt. The Bills are 6-2, right? That was their record total last year. They're 6-2. They haven't been 6-2 since '93. I'm sure you guys have all seen the stat. And there's 8 games left. Half a season. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's see them turn up the volume on this shit and start cooking people. We'll see once they take the field, Trevor. Trevor asked, how do I think the Bills stack up against the Browns? Again, it's a week-to-week league. They're in a lot of turmoil now. There's a lot of infighting. There are a lot of embattled things going on there. I don't know how it's going to affect the game on Sunday. I'm just glad it's not the Bills. And I want the Bills to be able to focus on football, take that 30-minute charter down to Cleveland, take care of our business, and go back like up Erie with a W. It's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. So as long as they take care of their business and focus on what they got to focus on and control what they can control on Sunday, they should go out there and put on a game and win. I don't care about talent. I don't care about hype. I don't care about sizzle. I care about production, because that's what it's about. It's not about anything other than that. It's about production. And if you're not, if you're not, then it's got no merit. Jordan Levi is a good CB2. Trey is just locked down, so he's going to get tested a lot. Yeah, they're not going to throw at Trey. They're just not. They threw at him, I think, twice today, by my count. Trevor Allen has thrown the ball really well. Yeah, a lot, very sharp. Within 5 to 20, he's been money. I felt like his 2 balls down the field were there. Again, I feel like if Foster kept running on the one he dove for, he catches it. I don't know if he lost the ball, but the Redskins DBs didn't think he was going to run past them, and he did. And they didn't think the ball was going to go past them either. It did. It was really irritating, the one where I felt John Brown was interfered with, when he had him around the legs. Allen takes the shot because he feels like they jumped off sides. But again, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, Allen in the pocket, I feel like he's getting the ball out better. He's moving better within the pocket. He's keeping his eyes downfield. That's kind of what I always look at, is where's his head, where's his eyes, and they stayed downfield pretty well today. There wasn't many opportunities. I feel like they really wanted to just go at him with the run and open it up. I feel like they think they could have got more with Gore today, but again, there wasn't a lot of room in the middle. They were really collapsed in the middle of that defense, collapsing it with Ioannidis, Allen, and Payne. But you got to tip your hat to them. They did what they had to do, but ultimately the scoreboard reads 24-9. Bills win. Matthew Cephalippo, Leslie, he's the defensive coordinator. I believe he calls the plays all game. He's the defensive coordinator. Travsdale Wright, nobody panicked with the Eagles' loss, and no one made any excuses or anything. No, they didn't panic. They didn't make excuses. They just took it on the chin. They took the L and they moved on and they won this week, and that's all you got to be concerned with. Jordan Clark, Foster needs more run. Totally agree. That deep shot was so close. Allen and him seemed to have. Yeah, it was right there, Jordan. I want that. I want that reestablished. I want Foster on the field a lot more. What did I think? His play. I just think it's on the players, man. I think it was on the players. I think it was defensive linemen not getting off blocks, winning one-on-ones, and then linebackers not filling in, making tackles when they had the chance. That's just what it came down to. Simple and not sexy explanation. It's just that's football. Winning one-on-ones and tackling your man when you get to him or holding him up long enough for help to arrive. You see that picture of Adrian Peterson and Gore. Gore's a small, squat guy. AP's is a big back. You got to bring the wood to get him down to the ground. But yeah, guys, I'm really psyched. It's so good to finally get back in the win column after last week. To have lost at home in that fashion was just really, really frustrating to have to sit on all fucking week. Trevor, Philly is a tough team, and I don't think we matched up. They're a tough team. They're trying to rebound. They beat the Bears today. Bears have a good defense. Their quarterback situation is a little rough. But again, last week was a situation where I feel like the Bills didn't do themselves any favors, to be quite honest with you, with the penalty and the turnover at the half, and just not, making the most of their opportunities. I really think the Bills, again, like I stated, and we all know, a lot of their shortcomings are self-inflicted, whether it's a penalty or not being able to execute in third and short. Those are things you got to be able to do. You got a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. Bang it up in there. You know what I mean? Just boom, easy work every time. Get your pad level down and go. Travsdale, Allen, and Brown, yeah, they have a pretty nice connection. What's up, Snarl? How you doing, bro? Another victory, bro. Neil, do you think we really are a good team, or are we winning? We have what? Dude, the schedule's a schedule, man. The Bills don't pick their schedule. This is not like college where you schedule your opponents. You're not Alabama, and you got to take on a certain number of SEC West, SEC East teams. This is not college. The NFL hands the Bills the schedule. They hand the Patriots, the Ravens, the Browns their schedule, and you play your schedule. That's it. They should not have to apologize for anything, and I refuse to do that. The Bills play the schedule handed to them, and they're taking advantage of it. And if other organizations and teams have issues, whether they be injury, poor management, poor play, what have you, that's not the Bills' problem. The Bills are not there to sit around and wait for the league to all of a sudden be filled with Pro Bowl rosters so they can justify their wins to people who care about that sort of thing. You know what I mean? That's it. That's just it's just the way the NFL is. It's a dog eat dog league. It's a war of attrition. Don't like to use the word war when it comes to a game, but it truly is. Who can stay the healthiest? Who can stay the most consistent? Who can stay the most even keel? You can get off track really quick when expectations aren't met, when the pressure goes up, when the expectations rise. You see what happens. Terry Bradshaw, I think he sniffed too much coke back in the 70s, but that's just me. So I don't care what Terry Bradshaw has to say. you know, because a lot of those Fox guys, like there are a lot of homers, and I don't really listen to the pregame shows because I think they have no substance to them. They offer nothing. So Snarl, they're all pros teams are up and down all year. The Fish beat. Yep. Yeah. What's that mean? They won. They won. So if they would have lost today, then the Bills would have been a joke and a fraud and a failure and all this other stuff. But they won. It's like, they're supposed to win. The Bills are supposed to win games. Since when? Since when are the Bills supposed to win games? Fuck win games. When are the Bills supposed to win in spectacular fashion? Says whoever. They won by 2 touchdowns or more. That's great for me. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Trevor, listening to Greg Cosell, I've learned it. He's a little bit of a Philly homer, and he loved Chip Kelly, and I kind of lost respect for him when he was so big on Chip Kelly. 91. Matt is correct. In 91, we were supposed to have a lot of style points and win in spectacular fashion. 92 also, if you remember. They, back in the Bills' heyday. Too long ago. Let's rekindle that a little bit. I will say this, guys. Going forward, though, kind of long term, this offense is going to need to find its identity, bread and butter, and obviously that starts with Allen. But in terms of a wide receiver or a back, Singletary hopefully provides that. But it needs an alpha. It needs a stud, a guy that teams are scared to death of, a guy that you're going to go to in a money situation, a red zone situation. It needs that type of weapon on the perimeter at tight ends. Hopefully Knox develops into that. And I got to remember, Knox didn't even score a touchdown in college. He's scored one with the Bills so far. I think he's caught more passes and more yards than he did in all of his college games last year. So hopefully, I think Brown is a nice 1B receiver, but in terms of him being a true X, I don't think he's that. He's not the Julio. He's not the AJ Green. He's not the Larry Fitzgerald in his prime. The Bills need to try to find their Mike Evans. Their guy. Their go up and get it, run past a guy. Absolutely correct. Offense needs to keep work. Yeah, they do. And that starts with practice. That starts with them just doing shit that we don't see Monday through Saturday, man. That's where you win and lose, Monday through Saturday. If you don't, I just think there's a concerted effort for him to get better in the intermediate area. If you see how the Patriots function, their offense is death by 1,000 cuts and then hit you over the top with something when it suits them. That's the way they play offense. And it works and it wins. Like if you can stay on the field, get first downs, and first downs lead to touchdowns, that's what they want to do. They want to they'll hit on some of those big plays. Those are low percentage plays. I felt like there was 2 there today. I felt Brown was interfered with. They didn't call it, and I felt if Foster would have kept running, he would have ran right under it. Okay, Mark, can you explain to me what DVOA? I don't pay attention to that stuff. That's all like that advanced analytics shit, and a lot of that is a bunch of math nerds who want to find a way to explain something or make money because they sell subscriptions to their sites so people can find these numbers, and you can skew numbers to twist and turn any which way. Bills are 6-2. That's the number I'm interested in. Trevor, all I hear the Bills low. Oh, you're listening to Mike Shope then. I'm sure that's what you're listening to then. That's, if you just listen to numbers guys that aren't jocular, and I'm not saying you need to be jocular, but those are people who've never competed. You know what I mean? It's balls on balls, dick on dick. Alpha on alpha, win on win. That's all it is. That's football. Skill, skill. There's a stat for you. How about when a motherfucker's tired and you got another big motherfucker across from you that you got to try to lock up and keep him off your quarterback or off your running back? But your one big dude is a little gimpy, he's a little injured, his hamstring's sore, cramping up in the game, but he's in a stance. He can't pop up. Where's the analytic for that? Where do you quantify that? You don't quantify that shit. You know, how about if your man's running free on a 9 route or high to the flag and he slips and busts his ass and the DB who was beat just gets an easy pick? You know, I'm sure maybe is there a stat for that? I don't know. Shit happens in games. It's sports played by human beings. There's a lot of happenstance in football. You know, Ford didn't play at all today, I believe. I think he was completely didn't play. He had a hyperextended elbow in the last game. That's why Ryan Bates was active. Am I concerned with it? I was very concerned in the first half, but my anxieties were allayed when it was cleaned up in the second half. I've never been to Buffalo, believe it or not, Matt. Never been. I'm not going to knock radio hosts, you know, and stuff like that. A lot of those guys are, you know, they've been decent to me and stuff anytime I've called. I don't particularly care for his style, but that's his style. More shock jock, more, you know, the numbers guy. Everybody's got their thing. Not everybody can have the same personality. I would just say if you don't like them, don't listen to them. That's as simple as that. I've heard good things about them, Trevor. I've heard great things about Buffalo food, period. You know, and I'd probably have to diet for like 2 weeks before I go up there to really get my calorie count down so I can enjoy some of the stuff, but I would make it worth my while. How have I never been? Just life getting in the way, man. I miss Chuck Dickerson. Wow, that's an old one, dude. You're dating people with that. Who's my favorite guy to listen to on WGR? I have a taste for them all. You know what I mean? Crazy enough, I even like when Paul talks football sometimes, and you know, he's the hockey guy. I've heard good things about Buffalo pizza. Victor, yeah, I've heard nothing less about Buffalo food being amazing. There's a lot of amazing food here in NYC, North New Jersey, but the problem is it's just really expensive, and sometimes the expense overrates it because you're paying for the location. Dan Capanese Productions. There's plenty of amazing Bills related podcasts. So yeah, I mean, I don't really listen to the podcast too much or like the extra sites, the different stuff. I know everybody's got their own opinion, and that's why I kind of limit it to this. I only do the one post. Sometimes I want to come record stuff, but then I'm like, there's so much shit out there. Everybody just puts out, everybody makes a podcast for everything now. If a guy farts, there's a podcast for it, or you know, if somebody trips and falls, there's some sort of, and I'm like, I don't want to bastardize myself. I'm not that, there's not production quality here. I'm not that articulate. I don't really have a lot of content to offer other than me talking to you. So I don't want to really waste everybody's time because I don't think I'm like this, oh, you know, and I come to find that a lot of those guys, not to be too critical, they're very in love with their own opinion and hearing themselves talk. And I just I'm open to other ideas, and I think people are, you know, offer different perspectives, and I need to listen just as much as I talk. Does Buffalo have garbage plates? Or I think I never heard of Buffalo garbage plates, but they might. I always hear about them during training camp. Trevor, I went to Long Island to visit friends, and it was, oh God, yeah, Long Island, woo, you're crazy. Yeah, that's very expensive. I like when, yeah, Lorenzo Alexander, he's really good, but he's a player. It's like Eric Wood. I like listening to players who played the game and offer insight into the game. I like Matthew Fairburn and Joe. I'm not gonna lie, I like those guys. I like Tim. I like Tim Graham. He gets a rap, but I think he's very honest, and I like honesty. Even though sometimes you don't want to listen to. It's not like Jerry Sullivan, who's bitter and kind of has a beef with the Pagulas and things that happen with the news, and so you got to watch what sometimes he says. Please subscribe to the Trip, Fall, and Fart podcast. That's a funny name. Everything's expensive in NYC. Matthew Pollock says, I'm trying to transfer to college in NYC to study theater. Oh, man. Whew. That's a hell of an industry there. Tony Romo. Yeah, Romo, he's there. He's got the view. He's a former quarterback, and it's easy for him. He's just doing what he's done his whole life. Matthew, I knew Joe B back before he was famous. It's funny. I saw him outside the team hotel when he was here 2 years ago before the Bills played the Jets on Thursday night. They lost that game, and he was a nice guy. They're all pretty nice guy. Chris Brown at Bills.com is a great guy. I will say this, and I'll stress this to everybody: the Bills media, from what I've seen, and I'm here in NYC, and this is like one of the bigger markets, capitals with a lot of sports teams. And I know the Buffalo sports market is not big, has one hockey team, has one football team for a small community, slightly smaller town. I believe it could have a pro basketball team. I honestly think pro basketball would be big in Buffalo. The media does a great job interacting with the fan base up there. The media here does not really interact with the fan base at the level, and there's a lot of media here. They don't interact with the fan base at the level that the Buffalo media does. They just don't do it. Matthew Pollock, I actually know Mark Kelso pretty well. He's taken me around Bill's training facility. He's a really nice guy. I only ran into him once here at the team hotel. Really nice guy. How are you not being in Buffalo? Only guy I don't like in the Bills media show. Again, everybody has their own taste, man. I did one time Buffalo Braves in the NBA. Yeah, they played at the Odd, but I think Buffalo could have an NBA team. I really do. I think the people up there would be all about it. Neil, out of the area of curiosity, why do you think the Bills? Why do I think they could have? Because it's a huge sports market. It's a huge sports market. Buffalo is a massive sports market. Even when the Sabres aren't good, you look at the rating shares from the networks. Buffalo's at the top. The Buffalo viewing area is at the top, and the Sabres aren't there. But they're right at the apex of the viewers. And I think they love it. When the tournament's up there, when UB is good and they have a lot of good college basketball up there, I think they could 100% support it. My favorite part, Trevor, my favorite part of the week is listening to Beningo and Francesa after bad Sundays. Eric Moreno Clippers. Yep. I'm going to get a Buffalo Braves hoodie, I think. I'm going to get one of those. I think the Braves they did. Singletary was, I think he was there. Joe makes a great point. I think Singletary was passed the torch today. I really think he was. Utz, did you cover the Bills versus the run or get concerned about it? Again, as they cleaned it up in the second half, and I'll go by that and I'll stay happy with that. Stabers starting to suck again. It's been a rough last couple of games. And even though they lost 1-0 the last game, I felt like they played well. They just didn't get any of their shots to go in. And the one that the Islanders got in, it was like a fucking deflection off a guy's skate or something. It was a fluky goal. It was a pain in the ass to lose like that. But yeah, guys, it was a tough week. They're just going to have to go back to work and try to clean up whatever they didn't do offensively in the short yardage, and just go down to Cleveland and have a tough game. What's the atomic weight of brain? I have no clue. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, if you guys need entertainment tomorrow that's not Bills related, the Bills won, you're going to want to listen, I guess, maybe to the morning guys. You're talking about media. Tomorrow, listen to Cleveland, 92.3 The Fan, all day, every show. Wait till 10 for Beningo and Evan Roberts. It's Joe and Evan. And then you'll probably want to wait till the 3 to listen to Francesa and the Michael K. You guys will be thoroughly entertained, thoroughly. Travs Dale, yeah, Colin Cowherd had Allen rated as the 22nd best quarterback, so you can't listen to the mainstream when it comes to the Bills. They're detached from the Bills. They're the Bills. It's just they're not embraced big time, and they're just it's going to be always until they win consistently year in and year out. That's just the way it's going to be. Joe Smith, I feel like Allen's close to breaking out. Yeah, I feel like it's getting to that point, guys. I feel like it's getting to that point where he's going to hit one or two of these big plays in a game, and you're going to see it just pop off, and it's going to be a hell of a thing to watch because it's getting close. And his confidence level, you can see his confidence levels in a really good place. And I look at some of the other quarterbacks that were in that class, and I just see, and this is one of the things I wanted to touch on. I agree. I agree 100%. This is one of the things I wanted to touch on. If you look at it, this is why Allen was talked about as being the first overall pick. We didn't see it coming out of Wyoming. We didn't see the flashy numbers. We didn't see the completion percentage. We so-called didn't see the accuracy. We didn't see all these things, but we didn't see with Allen was how he conducts himself, how he acts, how he carries himself, his presence, his physical gifts are what they are. We see them on Sundays. Physically tremendously gifted. I've repeated this over and over and over again. I hate to go to default to this every time because it's my only experience seeing him live, seeing Baker Mayfield live, and seeing Tyrod Taylor live. I saw all three live. Let's talk about the two quarterbacks from the first round, Baker and Allen. They'll be on the field again at First Energy Field next week. And when I saw Josh Allen play and I saw the other quarterbacks play, it was very, very obvious why you would say that guy, because his talent was just, and his skill level, the way he threw the ball, the way he moved, it was like, whoa, it jumped. And I'm just a novice when it comes to looking at that sort of stuff. And it popped to me. So I can only imagine to the seasoned scout. Allen got 160 yards on 20 attempts and 70 completion. Game plan flow was called. Yeah, they really wanted to go at the run for whatever reason. I felt like there was more to be had in the pass game. I really wish they would. Have opened it up a little more. But I'll take the win, man. Yeah, he's a leader. He's a leader. You heard Dawkins say it after the Jets game that he's a leader. And there's no analytic for leadership. There's no analytic for presence. There's no analytic for a guy who knows how to carry himself as a captain. There's nothing for that. What do you attribute that to? You either born with it or you're not. And apparently he just has it. And Baker's attitude is starting to show. I loved Baker coming out. And I know it's still young and we don't want to throw dirt on all these guys just yet because it's rough in their career. But I was a big Baker guy. And my friend, sometimes Eric, he brings me back down to earth sometimes. He's a lawyer. He's very, heady, smart. And sometimes I'm a little more emotional. He's emotional too. But he said, bro, I know you like this guy and he's got a lot of great numbers, but he's a child. Not only is he a child, he's older than the rest of the guys in the class. And there's a video. He ran from police. That's bad judgment. That's bad judgment. And I don't know if you want that. And right now I wouldn't either, Joe. I wouldn't trade Allen for any of those quarterbacks. Damager, you know what? The people in Cleveland are saying the same thing, bro. This guy has more commercials than wins. Attacking the media. Yeah, man, you're not going to win. Eric, I've seen it my whole life. Players that go after the media, they want to snark back. They want to be big ball McGraw. You're going to lose, man. You're not going to win. And That's just the way it is. You just don't win with the media. And you better win. You better live up to expectations. They go out and get you. No, no, I don't have the time of day. Yeah, I was one of those guys, Matthew. I was one of those guys. I'm not gonna lie. Some people compare Allen to Trubisky, but I don't see that at all. Trubisky just doesn't has no physical skill set that Allen has. So I just don't. I just don't see it. I don't see he doesn't have the movement. He doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the arm. That's insane. Neil, if I called the Francesa show, I would still be on hold right now. That's what it's like to call the Mike Francesa show. I would never. And for me, like I do this, it's the closest thing I'll ever to being a radio dude, I guess. It's about you guys. Like if I'm here, I'm just talking to myself without you guys, and I just feel like he doesn't treat his callers with enough respect. Granted, some of the people do call up there with dumb stuff, but they're still taking their time and giving it to you. So I think out of respect, you should at least acknowledge them on a better level than he does. That's just my opinion. Los says Baker reached his ceiling and Josh is just sniffing around the surface. Excellent. That's 100%. 100%. I couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have worded it better. I probably would have went on 10 minutes trying to say what you just said in 10 words. Exactly that. That's just couldn't have said it better. Joe Smith, it's weird. You talk to Mel Kiper and he says Elway. Yeah. I mean, Mel was one of the big guys who liked him. Mel Kiper loved him. Everybody dismisses Mel Kiper, but I think McShay's a bit of an idiot myself. Trevor, remember when we were all killing them for taking Allen over Rosen, maybe being – oh, they obviously did. Again, we don't get to spend time with these kids. We don't get to talk to them. And you know how it is, guys, in life, everyday life. If somebody rubs you the wrong way, if somebody doesn't have a good personality, if somebody doesn't – what are they going to be like in front of a bunch of men? You know what I mean? What are they going to be like? Especially a bunch of millionaires that are athletes that they have to lead. That's a huge lift for a young kid. Damager, that play Allen made, escaping the sacks and throwing a dart, and it was dropped. I think Allen, JB dropped. Yeah, he did. He kind of like just loafed at it with two hands running, but then he caught the next play after. Oats Brands have been very combustible team. All those personalities, losing to the Broncos is just going to push them down before bringing them up. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man, but I think it'll be a tough game. They're going to be fighting for their lives. They're going to be trying to rebound, and the Bills have to go bring their best to Cleveland. So I'm not going to just, concede that they're going to go in there and roll. They have to go beat that team, get them demoralized, make them remember, look, we're not here to play games. Sims, yeah, Chris Sims loved him. Definitely loved him. I'll say that. Yep, McShay loved Darnold. So, yep, Trevor Rosen seems like an all right guy. Yeah, it's a tough situation. Rosen's been yinged and yanged. It's a really tough deal. Definitely not the way you want to try to develop a young quarterback. Joe Smith, watching Allen makes me realize how bad EJ was. Yeah, we were all delusional because we wanted him to be good. But I hope Allen just keeps, steady. It's not always like this. It's like this. With this 300-yard game, I went looking back in the annals. And you know what I saw? Brett Favre didn't have a 300-yard game in his first year either. And I think he only had one in his second year. And I know it was several years ago. But at the end of the day, it was Brett Favre. And I'll always say I'll comp those two. Because I saw them play. I saw Elway play. And I think Elway had a 400-yard game and didn't have a 300-yard game also. I think he had one. But again, it was pretty similar. If we go to Cleveland, focus and discipline, Eric says we should beat them. Yeah, that's what you do. Exactly. And wait for them to beat themselves. Do what the Patriots do to teams. Wait for them to beat themselves. Wait for them to beat themselves and pounce. Let them make a mistake and pounce. The Tyrod truthers are so obnoxious. Yeah, and that's don't bother with those people, dude. Don't bother with those people. We don't need Kirk Cousins stats to win that, so that's okay. Well, they lost today. So this team needs to. They'll get better statistics. They'll get better statistics. Those statistics are going to come when these receivers and Allen play together more and more, and a few of these big plays hit. Those stats will be there. When Knox gets a little more rhythm, a little more lathered up, these big plays will be there. Croft, what's up, Bryant? How you doing, man? Croft didn't have any run today. I saw him out there a handful of times, but he didn't get any looks. He didn't get targeted in the passing game, which I was shocked. Joe Smith, Mark, do you think Rosen can be good? I think he can be good, but it's tough, man. He's been beaten down pretty bad. He's been in a lot of bad situations, and I don't know, man. I don't know how bad he wants it. How hyper competitive is he? How much of a dog is he? Allen's a bit of a dog, and that's another thing we don't see. And that's like from a few of the people that I trust that are over there, they tell me this guy's a dog. Like he's a dog. Like he's gonna go down fighting, and I'll give that to him. He played well in the fourth quarter again today. He did. Why does Sunday Night Football do the PFF? You want me to tell you why, Trevor? Why Sunday Night Football does the Pro Football Focus garbage? Because Chris Collinsworth owns it. That's why. He has a reason to. Chris Collinsworth owns Pro Football Focus. He makes money off of the people who subscribe to it. He makes money off of clicks that people feed to his site. That's why. It is a conflict of interest, but the whole league is. It's a money-making venture. The more eyes, the more attention, whether it be negative or positive, it's feeding the machine. So for them, their money is made. Once the networks give them their money, and then the NFL in turn sells them to to fill the space to the advertisers, it's a fucking gold mine. You could run the worst business in America, and we've seen it. Bengals, Cleveland, Jets, Dolphins to a certain degree. You'll never lose money. Never. You never lose money. You could literally just sit there and not do a fucking thing, and you're going to make $50 million a year running the worst team in the NFL. Well, you know, that changes here and there. Damager, I'll take our group of number one wide receivers over. Yeah, more worried about shoes. That was an interesting thing that happened in a Browns game. Damager points out that the NFL told Landry and Beckham if they didn't change their cleats at halftime, they couldn't come back in the game. That was just another mistake. You had their safety threatening a Browns radio host who was on air, actually on air at the time. Dustin Fox was doing the post game. He threatened him for a tweet. So yeah, they got a lot of issues going on right now. None of them have to do with football. And the Bills are in a good spot. They're in a good place, as best as they can be. And they are facing an embattled team that could implode before they come together. So when they go down to Cleveland, they really need to go out there and make that team just basically self-destruct. That's what they need to do. They need to make that, and Kitchen's job's being called for. They need to go down there and make them self-destruct. Point blank. And it has to happen quick, decisively, and fast. And I can't emphasize that enough. And then if you go down there and stamp them, and you don't think the Bills aren't going to use this as motivation, that was the team that was supposed to be us. Cleveland's supposed to be 6-2, 7-1. All the hype is on them. We're the lowly Bills. Nobody believes in us. Paper champions. Baker Mayfield, first overall pick. All these fancy receivers, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think that is going to be a message. They're not going to say that in the media. They're not going to perpetuate that, put that out there. But internally, behind the scenes, you're damn right they're going to be saying that. Culture is a thing. Yep, it is. It's real. I've been in bad boxing gym cultures, bad gym cultures, bad environments, and I've been in good ones. Telling you, it's like a bad work environment. You guys ever been in bad work environments where it's uncomfortable, nobody likes each other, it's not a good working? That's a bad culture. You can have a bad culture in a football. It's just the way it is, man. It's real. If they turn him over, Travsdale Baker will fold if we can get pressure on him. Yeah, he tends to back up. Has a little bit of trouble seeing over the line. They can get to him, make him back up. I think they can force him into some turnovers because he's going to throw the ball around. Haskins was not loose with the ball today. He did not throw the ball anywhere in the middle of the field, any danger areas. He kept the ball outside the numbers to the sidelines, or he dirted it, threw it away, or took the sack. And yet Singletary, he's definitely a piece now that needs to be a large part of the offense going forward. Allen is not that dude. Charity Lavelle, not that dude in what regard? Trevor McDermott has flaws, but I think he's the best coach the Bills have had in 20 years. I think he's the best Bills coach since Marv. I think he's able to make harder decisions than Wade. Wade was not able to make hard decisions, nor did he have the balls. Wade caved to the organization a lot of times, even though he knows it wasn't good. He was very much players coach, great defensive guy, not much in the way of offense. And Joe Pendry was the offensive coordinator. He's not very good. And the rest of the guys, Greg Williams, Malarkey, I mean, we all know the list. Terrible, terrible guys. Allen equals the next Kelly. Let's hope he's the next Josh Allen. Well, when you've got to run under balls and catch them too. And he reads the defense just fine. If you notice on the underneath stuff that he hit today, so you gotta watch the game. Singletary next Thurman. Let them be them. Let's not put that on them. Let him become Josh Allen and see what that Josh Allen's like. Let Singletary be Singletary. It's tough when you put those tags on players and stuff. You gotta let guys grow into their own players. This offense needs an Andre Reed, though. It needs an alpha receiver. John Brown's a nice receiver. He's a really good receiver, but he needs to be, they need something extra for next season. But right now, Brown did retrieve himself on the next play, and that's huge. All right, guys, I'm going to break out. It's been an hour and 7 minutes. I really appreciate everybody who came in here and took their time. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure as always. Blood Jared is probably Corey. Again, I give everybody a fair shot, guys. I give everybody a fair shot. I'm not gonna be that quick on the draw. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a dictator. I don't want to be a fucking one of those assholes. But you guys have a great rest of the night. Enjoy the second half of the game. Thanks for spending so much time with me. Great rest of the week. Thank you so much. Love you all. Go Bills. Much, much appreciated. Thank you all so much again for coming in here and taking your time. Thank you. Have a good one. 6-2. 8 more games left. Wow. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Have a great night, guys.